quiet Essex village of Tolleshunt Knights, where fields stretch like green oceans and ancient woods whisper secrets, there lies a place the locals call Devil's Wood. Its gnarled oaks and tangled undergrowth hide a bottomless pool, its waters black as midnight, said to be a gateway to the underworld. In times long forgotten, when the veil between worlds was thin, this pool was the heart of unspeakable rites, satanic orgies presided over by the archfiend himself, his laughter mingling with the cries of revelers under a blood-red moon. The villagers, cowed by fear, avoided the wood, crossing themselves at its mention. But in the late 13th century, a bold act of defiance set in motion a tale of courage, betrayal, and a beam that still bears the devil's mark. It was 1292, and the Lord of Tolleshunt Knights, Sir Geoffrey de Vere, decreed that Devil's Wood would be tamed. A grand house was to rise on its edge, a symbol of Christian dominion over the pagan shadows. Builders from Colchester were hired, led by a gruff foreman named Thomas Ford. The work began with unease, axes faltered, horses shied, and the pools seemed to hum with malice. The labourers whispered of eyes in the dark, of footsteps that echoed without source. Thomas, a devout man with a limp from a childhood fall, dismissed their fears. "Stone and timber will conquer this place," he declared, though he kept a rosary in his pocket, its beads worn smooth by worry. The first night, as the crew camped by the half-raised walls, the air grew heavy, the stars dimming. Satan himself, cloaked in shadow and reeking of sulphur, crept to the site, his clawed hands itching to unmake the work. But Thomas had stayed behind, vigilant, with his 3 spay bitches, lean, fierce hounds named Bess, Nell, and Meg, their eyes glinting like embers. As the devil's hooves crunched on the frost, he hissed, "Who is there?" Thomas, clutching his rosary, stood firm. "God and myself and my 3 spay bitches," he called, his voice steady. The hounds growled, hackles raised, and the power of God's name, spoken first, burned Satan like a lash. With a snarl, he fled into the wood, the pool rippling in his wake. The second night, Satan returned, his eyes blazing with fury. The walls had risen higher, the house taking shape. Again, he demanded, "Who is there?" Thomas, weary but resolute, answered as before, "God and myself and my 3 spay bitches." The hounds lunged, their barks echoing through the gorge, and Satan, bound by the holy invocation, retreated once more, his curses shaking the oaks. The crew, heartened by Thomas's courage, worked harder, believing the devil's power broken. But Thomas grew tired, his nights sleepless, his mind frayed by the wood's oppressive weight. On the 3rd night, as a crescent moon hung low, Satan crept closer, his presence a chill that withered the grass. The house was nearly complete, its roof timbers ready to be set. Thomas, exhausted, stood watch alone, the hounds restless at his side. When Satan's voice rang out, "Who is there?" Thomas faltered. His tongue, heavy with fatigue, betrayed him. "Myself and my 3 spay bitches and God," he said, the words tumbling in the wrong order. A terrible silence fell. The hounds whimpered, and Satan laughed, a sound like breaking bones. "You've undone yourself, mortal," he roared, springing forward. The devil's claws tore through Thomas's chest, ripping flesh and bone. The hounds howled, but Satan's power was unleashed, scattering them into the dark. As Thomas's life ebbed, Satan tore out his heart, still beating, and held it aloft. "Your soul is mine," he screamed, "whether your heart lies in churchyard, field, or road." Thomas's final breath was a prayer, his eyes fixed on the rosary clutched in his bloodied hand. The devil, in his wrath, turned on the house, toppling walls and shattering beams. Seizing a massive oak timber, he hurled it skyward, its arc a streak of shadow against the stars. "Where this beam shall fall, there shall the build barn," he bellowed, vanishing into the pool's depths. Dawn broke over a scene of ruin. The crew, roused by the hound's distant howls, found Thomas's body, his chest a gaping wound, his heart gone. The house was rubble, but miles away, in a meadow near Tolleshunt Knights. The flung beam had landed, its sides scorched and clawed. The villagers, led by Father Edmund, the parish priest, mourned Thomas, but saw hope in his rosary, unbroken in his grasp. His faith was true, Edmund declared. "We'll save his soul." Defying Satan's curse, they searched for Thomas's heart, guided by Bess, who sniffed out a bloodied trail to the church. There, beneath the chancel wall, they found the heart, pulsing faintly, as if guarded by divine will. With reverence, they entombed it in the church's stone, consecrating the act with prayers. Satan's scream echoed from the wood, but Thomas's soul, the villagers believed, was safe. Sir Geoffrey, chastened, abandoned the cursed site. Instead, he ordered a new house built where the beam had fallen, naming it Barn. The clawed timber, blackened and unyielding, was set as its great hall's centerpiece, a reminder of the battle waged. The house rose, sturdy and grand, but its heart, the devil's beam, carried a weight no fire could warm. Servants whispered of cold spots, of claw marks that bled sap on moonless nights. Devils would grew wilder, its pool shunned, though some swore they saw figures dancing in its depths on starless eves. Centuries passed, and Tolleshunt Knights wove Thomas's tale into its lore. The church, rebuilt over time, still holds a niche in its wall, said to cradle Thomas's heart, its stone faintly warm to the touch. Barnhall stands, its beam a curiosity for visitors, its scars a silent warning. The wood, now a tangle of briar and myth, is avoided, though hikers report strange echoes. A hound's bay, a man's cry, or the devil's mocking laugh. On stormy nights, when the wind howls through Tolleshunt Knights, the villagers light candles for Thomas Ford, the watchman who faced Satan, and, through his mate's cunning, cheated the devil's grasp, his soul forever anchored in the church's sacred stone. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, like, follow, subscribe, and comment below.